everybody, and welcome to Tatter-a-fact. Today, well, it's just me at the Girlz Inc. studio in Las Vegas. And we got you too, Olivia. You're here with us.
Here.
You are here. So yeah. So today I thought we would talk kind of about clients and maybe some different situations that come up with clients. And a couple of the bullet points that I'm going to hit on today are all questions that we've gotten from some of our students or customers over the last 2 or 3 weeks. And between all those questions, I thought it would make a great little podcast because newbie artists, they tend to not, first of all, when you're new, you're really, really nervous. And sometimes client situations can get beyond us and get out of control because we're not used to dealing with a clientele. And it's uncomfortable a lot of times, and you just, frankly, just don't know the proper protocol in some of these situations. So I wanted to talk about that. And before we get into some actual situations, one of the questions we had come in, which we get a lot. I see it on the Facebook groups. I see it on Instagram. I get emailed about it, is how to get more clients. Like, social media is not working. I just had that question come in a few days ago, and she's been, doing some Facebook ads. She's been, posting on Instagram. She's been, really struggling, filling her books and getting clients, to book with her. And so she wanted to know, how can she get more clients? So my first response to her was, are you strictly advertising or strictly using social media? Is that your only avenue of trying to attract clients, is social media? And she said yes. And social media is great. Look, we need it. If you have your own business, you need to be on social media. That's a given. But as evolved and as advanced as social media has become, and as much as humans love and are attracted to social media, and as good as it can be for attracting clients and growing your business, it's not the only way. Even now, today, I think there's something to be said with the human connection, right? When you're only using social media, there's not, it's different. You can get lost in a slew of social media flyers and ads and whatnot. And you definitely lose that human connection, that human relation. But when you're able to meet someone in person, they can hear your voice, they can experience your energy, your mannerisms, and you can have a conversation with a potential referral, like a doctor, a hairstylist, a nail tech, someone like that. I think that even today with social media, that can be really, really powerful because it's engaging. It's human beings engaging. You're hearing, the voice, the mannerisms, you're feeling the energy. Mm-hmm. And that, sometimes, and maybe in many cases, can be much more powerful and much more effective than social media. What are your thoughts on that, Olivia? Because you're younger, you were probably born in the social media age where I had to get, fucking used to it. It didn't happen until a little bit, later for me. But you people your age, you guys were like born into social media. But you work here at Girlz Inc. and you handle a lot of the marketing. So what are your thoughts? Do you think like just social media, that's enough? Or do you also think, hit the streets and go, go visit people?
Yeah, I think that's very important to be personal as well. Just because, I mean, for me personally, I feel like I would trust somebody more if I know them, if I've seen them in person and had a conversation with them, rather than through just social media.
Yeah. No, I agree. And me too. And I think that's a lot of people. And how I built my business, I didn't have social media, first starting out, the first 10 years of my career, 10, 12 years of my career, there wasn't, social media. There certainly wasn't Instagram. And there was barely websites. I'm kind of dating myself. But, I was really young when I started PMU, but I started 21 years ago, and there was barely websites on the wild world web, as my dad likes to refer to it. And so, back then I was forced to find alternative ways. Well, not alternative ways. It was the only way back then. You could take little ads out in like your local magazines, which still might be a good idea. I think all the cities, or most of the cities like Las Vegas, I mean, we have local magazines like entertainment magazines, woman magazine, things like that. And advertising in there is still relatively inexpensive because they're small local publishings. So that might be a good way, is to do a little research and find out if there's any local magazines that tend to get delivered to dentist offices, doctors' offices, places that women frequent, right?
Yeah.
I'm in Woman Magazine here in Las Vegas, and I know those magazines get delivered to a lot of the doctors' offices, dentist offices, spas and whatnot. And I'm in that magazine. I've been advertising in that magazine for about 12 or 13 years. And it's, like I said, it's affordable. And so how I would drum up business is I was trying to get doctors like plastic surgeons and dermatologists and, doctors to refer me. And I could not get a doctor to take time out of his day to see me. That was really, really difficult. And then one day I happened to have a client, and she was a scheduler for a plastic surgeon here in town. And I asked her, how can I get in front of a doctor or in front of someone at the doctor's office who is in charge of referring? So I would be the PMU girl that particular doctor's office referred. And her answer kind of shocked me, but it was call and schedule a breakfast meeting. Like, you bring bagels and coffee and you provide the office with breakfast, and that's the way to get the doctor to sit down for 30 minutes is you do these breakfast meetings. You host these breakfast meetings. And I had never heard of that, and I didn't know that. And so that's what I did. And I got in front of my first doctor that way. And he was a gentleman, and he was a plastic surgeon. He started referring me. And then he ended up booking a body tattoo with me. And I did a little tribal body tattoo piece on him, and forged a good relationship. And then from there, the next doctor, I just kept calling and getting front desk people. Then I'd get, to their scheduler, and I would schedule these breakfast meetings. And I would bring in my portfolio. I would print out pictures. I bought like good quality, glossy photo paper, and I'd print out like my best work and put it in a nice
portfolio.
And that portfolio, I would leave there at their office with a picture of me, a bio, samples of my work, And at the end of the portfolio, there was pictures of me with, my dogs and things like that. So they got a little inside peek of who I am personally. And I think people like that as well. So that's what I did. And I started gaining doctor after doctor after doctor as referrals. What we would do on Christmas is Kat is a good baker. Some of you probably have seen my, some of the videos that I post, around Christmas time with Kat and her apron, and, cooking all of them, cookies. But and she really does do that like every winter, every Christmas. And so years and years ago, she would bake a bunch of these cookies and we would put them in cute little tins, and we would take a whole weekend, like Thursdays and Fridays, and we would fill the car up with these tins of cookies and little Christmas cards. And we would drive all around town to not only the doctors that were currently referring me, but the doctors that I wanted to refer to me. And we would walk in, we would introduce ourselves, I would hand them the cookie tins, and usually, who doesn't like cookies, right? Everybody likes cookies. And so that would spark a conversation. And I remember the day that I landed Dr. Anson, because she was a big plastic surgeon, here in town. She's since retired. But I ended up getting into a conversation with her Botox girl, Shona there, and Dr. Anson came out. I got to meet her, and all because of, a cookie. So things like that, it really, really can work. Just that personal touch. So if you're somebody that is, really working social media, and you're not, building a clientele as fast as you want, you're not seeing your business grow as fast as you want, I'm certainly not recommending that you slow down on social media. Keep that up. But if you're not in combination with social media hitting the pavement, then you need to do that. I would highly suggest you do that. And it's not just doctors' offices like plastic surgeons, dermatologists, dentists. It's also hair salons. I mean, hairdressers. Hairdressers have female clientele. Most of their clients are female. I mean, you can tap into a lot of ladies with just one hairdresser. So what I did was I would actually do the hairdresser for free. I'm not saying you have to do that, but you could offer some sort of discount or incentive, work a deal with the hairdresser. I personally just did all my hairdressers for free, my nail techs for free, their eyebrows, their eyeliner, their lips, whatever they wanted. They would keep my cards, my portfolio right there at their desk. And you're talking in 3 years' time, I built one hell of a clientele here in Vegas. And to this day, 21 years later, I mean, I have a huge clientele. I have such a large clientele. I was able to bring on apprentices and fill their books as well. And it all started 21 years ago, hitting the pavement, visiting doctors, baking cookies, visiting hairdressers, nail techs. You have Botox and injectors in general. I mean, there's just lots of places where you could go, introduce yourself, and tap into potentially a lot of ladies that might be interested in you and your service. So that's my 2 bits on that. Yeah. I really do. I really, really, really believe still, and I tell my apprentices that, I mean, they can't rely on Girlz Inc. in our studio to completely fill their books, and nor do I want them to rely on us just filling their books. Not that just the Girlz name alone doesn't bring in enough clients where, they benefit from that, but I just feel they're not here just learning how to tattoo permanent makeup. they also have to learn, how to speak to clients, how to attract clients, how to market. I mean, it's it's a full-on apprenticeship here. They're learning a lot. I want them to learn everything here, not just how to do really good permanent makeup. So yeah, so hit the streets, ladies, and make those human connections. And I mean, how could someone not love you? When you're smiling and showing up with cookies and showing your portfolio. I mean, it's a good, and I think that's what the world's missing.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear people say it over and over and over, time and time again, like they miss the human connection. And I think there's a lot of people that really fear that that's going away, socialization and human connection and human contact. So yeah, go introduce yourself, meet some people, charm them, win them over, and build a clientele.